So number 7 is exercise. And what they found in exercise is that it does help with neuroplasticity and neurogenesis. I also have a slide of how it reduces your chances of Alzheimer's by 40%, how it reduces your chance of, all these breast cancer by 60%, or, there's all these studies of how great exercise is. And people know that. I think the one funny thing about exercise is that because there's no one contending against it, there's pretty much consensus on it. No one's arguing against exercising. Number 6 is focus on quality, not quantity. That has to do with the fact that diets oftentimes don't work. UCLA did a study in 2007 that concluded that diets do not lead to sustained weight loss or health benefits for the majority of people. We concluded most of them would have been better off not going on the diet at all. Their weight would have been pretty much the same, and their bodies would not suffer the wear and tear of losing weight and gaining it back again. So this goes, I'm just going to quality, not quantity. I always say you can eat a lot of broccoli, and you're not going to gain weight. I don't think. Now, people still need to practice reducing their general intake. The only predictive study of longevity is actually reductions of calories on a daily basis. So, they do say as you get older that you want to, in general, kind of reduce the amount of food you're eating if you're aiming to live a long life. Some people might not want to live a long life. So, number 5 is eat more. Yeah?
You mentioned something about getting older. We are dealing with seniors in our industry here, and most of you will agree when I'm going to say that most seniors' appetites decrease as they get older. Yeah. They don't want to eat, and you have to practically force food on them. Mm-hmm. And if they eat one good meal a day, that's terrific.
I agree. And what we want is quality, not quantity. So if you're able to give them fresh vegetable juice and like a good protein and a good vegetable and a good whole grain, well, that's pretty good. If they could get that once a day, oftentimes they're not getting that. It's the nature of our food industry. I always say choose your battles. So I'm not going after anyone, but a lot of food, it comes in a package, it's heated up in a microwave, it's old by the time you get it. You got to wonder how much nutrient value energetically is truly in that food product. It gets diminished. If you think of like 100 units, if I take broccoli and I eat it, I don't know why I'm obsessed with broccoli, asparagus, whatever it is, the fresher and more alive something is, the more energy it gives you. The more it's processed, it's not going to give you as much energy. So I'm not being all scientific about it. I'm just saying this is what I've noticed in terms of the food that I eat. Sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I'll do like an Amy's organic TV dinner, and it's okay. Sometimes I'll put like nutritional yeast in it to get a little, that has a good source of B vitamins. But it's not the same as when I cook a piece of meat and have fresh vegetable, So eat more fresh vegetables, eat more fresh fruit and vegetables. If you have to do something in a package, frozen is better than canned. And then I say food versus a food product. Buy all food as minimally processed as possible. Find an appropriate protein. If it's meat, then possible buy organic and fresh. That's the only thing I say. If you buy anything organic, in my opinion, Michael Pollan says start at the top of the food chain. So he says 4-legged animals, 2-legged animals, down to the vegetables and the processed foods. Number 1 most important thing to buy organic is meat, if you're going to eat meat. Okay, number 4 is I'm going to have us do an exercise. So if everyone can just get comfortable. If you have anything in your lap, put it down. And try and put your 2 feet on the ground. And we're going to do a 1-minute meditation. So I'm going to ring the bell to start it, and I'm going to ring the bell to stop it. And during the minute, if you can, try and be aware of your chest rising and falling and the feel of your heartbeat. So how was that?
It's like another, right?
Yeah. So number 4 on my talk is go slow. And I think that it's part of the brain integration, is that we just, if you want to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, if you want to eat 5 ingredients or less packaged food, it takes more time. So we have to be willing to go slow. And in like what we just did right now, we have to be willing to slow down throughout our day. It's not something separate. Like things like I have to take a walk every day, or I think this is what I'm talking about with integration, finding ways in our life to integrate it in our moment-to-moment experience, not making it something separate and big and difficult. So go slow. How did that change your experience right now versus how you guys felt a couple minutes ago?
More relaxed.
Yeah? Yeah.
My legs were more tense.
Uh-huh.
And almost at the minute, they just relaxed.
They let go. Yeah.
It
Okay.
was neat.
Yeah. I know, it was a useful minute. The funny thing is, oh yeah.
Well, I felt tense, and then I did it.
So it says emotional body-centered experience versus thinking. Recent research in neuroscience has made visible the process by which affect-loaded experiences, what we just did, have a greater likelihood of being retained by the brain than cognitive-based material. So I just programmed you all to remember my talk more. Okay, there's 3 left. These are the 3 most important, if you can remember, even though I'm not spending a lot of time on them. Number 3 is the last piece of nutritional advice I'm giving out of the top 10 list, so therefore it probably is the most important food-related advice. Number 3 is have the omegas in your diet every day. And you guys hear about this all the time. Cod liver oil or vitamin D, there's this big hoopla about it recently, which is great. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Weston A. Price. He was a dentist in the 30s and 40s that traveled all over the world and researched indigenous cultures' diets, and he wanted to know why the indigenous people's teeth were still okay. And what he found was whether they were in the Swiss Alps or whether they were on the Philippines and they ate Odin fish, or whether they were in Africa and they ate vegetarian except for they ate ants, wherever they were, all those diets had 10 times the amount of fat-soluble vitamins than our diet does today. So in whatever way you can get fat-soluble vitamins, I'm talking A, D, E, and K, do it. And I recommend doing it in some natural form. Again, like cod liver oil, you want to make sure it's third-party tested so it doesn't have weird chemicals in it. But so have the omegas in your diet daily. Number 2 is soul food is more important than what you eat. So this means the consumption of thoughts, the consumptions of feelings. If you're holding on to any kind of negativity or hatred or resentment, that affects your whole system. And the one thing I recommend is this thing by Ayanlan Van Sant called the forgiveness diet. So what I'm trying to do is offer kind of a little bit solutions if one of these topics comes up and you think maybe I could work on it. So the forgiveness diet, you do this for 7 days and 7 days, and you say 35 times in the morning and 35 times at night. And if you forget to do it, you have to start over at day 1. So you have to do it for 7 days, and you say, I forgive myself totally and unconditionally for all of the judgments I have held about X. So that's the forgiveness diet. And I can give that to you guys afterwards if someone wants it. I forgive myself totally and unconditionally for all the judgments I held about X. And then number 1 is do the best you can and let the rest go. So that's it. Just do a little bit every day and pat yourself on the back and you'll get there. 1 baby step at a time. Yeah. Oh.
We just need to all come to dinner at your house because you've already got the master.